All right. Good morning, IHSA Football family. How you guys doing? This is Coach Big Pete, a.k.a. Peter Lineweber of DeepDishFootball.com. Make sure you're following Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I know this is another video. I'm supposed to do Deep Dish Football live, but schedule forbids me from doing it, which absolutely sucks. Hopefully, I can do a breakfast with Coach Big Pete on Sunday, 2 p.m. Hopefully, I can do it. We got some teams that are looking for to schedule a game. We got Hanahu and we got Plainfield East. They just rescheduled a good game. Phillips is taking on Loyola Academy this week. That's going to be a great game, really great game. Loyola Academy is a hell of a team. Phillips, they're growing. Their youth movement is good, and they're going to look good this coming fall. This fall, they're going to be scary as Phillips High School, no doubt about it. Coach McAllister is doing a wonderful job with that, always with that team. So, let's talk about a couple of things before this. Recruits, make sure I have your information. Fill out Deep Dish Football recruiting questionnaire. It's absolutely free. My watch lists are on deepdishfootball.com. Be sure you check it out, deepdishfootball.com. Also, please check out Susie Sheehan, State Farm Insurance, out of Lockport, Illinois. She does a wonderful job as well. Jack's Place, a good bar, good gaming place. Check it out as well too. I'll put up a couple ads out there. I've put it out on Facebook and Twitter. Please follow me on Facebook because that's where all the live broadcasts are going to be. College camps, they're starting to come with the NCAA ruling for June 1st. Sounds like the Division I coaches can contact kids. It's going to be a great time. I'm happy for the kids. It's well-deserved. COVID restrictions, we've had a couple tracer problems. Teams trying to schedule games. They can't schedule games because the Illinois Health Department says they're outside of the mileage zone. They can't travel as far as they can. Some games that were supposed to be planned, IDPH basically put their foot down and said, no, you cannot do this. That's too much traveling. So it is what it is. Next, and we talk about this. So Tom Lemming every year has a photo shoot with some of the top recruits in the Chicagoland area and in central Illinois too. And he does it all over the country. And Matt Lemming was there. Matt Lemming is his nephew. By the way, Matt Lemming and Jacob Lemming are Tom Lemming's nephews, not his sons. Okay, so I don't know why people keep saying, well, this is his son, this is his son. So Matt Lemming and Jacob Lemming are Tom Lemming's nephews. And they are great guys. And congratulations to Matt Lemming, by the way, for joining the Prep Red Zone team. He's going to do wonderful jobs with Jacob. It's the Prep Red Zone, like I said, is the number one recruiting thing in the country now. They've taken out rivals. They've taken out 24/7. They're killing it, and they're respected by college coaches, and that says a lot. So keep an eye out for that. But Tom Lemming takes his photos. He does a video on each of the players, asking what they do. A photo came out. Matt Lemming put out a photo on his Twitter thing, and then some of the writers, the paper writers in the Chicagoland area, bitched and complained about Matt Lemming, that this was his event, which wasn't his event. It was Tom Lemming's event. And then one of the writers, in a very stupid way, who didn't check his information, said that, well, they charged to get into the photo shoots and all that. It wasn't true. He put out an event. I confronted him on Twitter about it, and he put out an event. Well, what does this say? Blah blah blah. And I had to tell him that's not a showcase. That's actually his nephew's showcase, Matt Lemming's showcase, which by the way is one of the best showcases in the country, no doubt about it. But he still has not deleted his tweet, and I find it very interesting that as a journalist and with journalistic integrity, when you tweet something out, and if it's not true, that you delete it. And he has not deleted it. So that says a lot about a lot of these newspaper writers now. Basically, my main beef with him is, And it's not Central Illinois. It's not Southern Illinois. Those are some of the best newspaper journalists in the state. Central and Southern Illinois, I have a lot of respect for them. But the Chicagoland area, oh my God, it is just basically. This is my opinion, but I'm going to state it as fact, and it's complete BS, and you can't do that. As a blogger, I can have an opinion because I'm not reporting on. I'm not a news writer. Simple as that. So it's very disheartening to see false information being provided by journalists. It really is. It really is, and it sucks. And I think something has to be done about it. But again, I have a lot of respect for newspaper writers. I have a lot of respect for the Daily Herald and those writers. I have a lot of respect for the writers in Springfield, Peoria, Quincy. Those guys do an excellent job. But there's just some newspaper writers that they just don't get it. And it was the biggest beef last year when I said I don't report on players' injuries, and they all got in a kerfuffle. Well, you can't say that. You can't say that. I just report the news on the players' injuries. It's a minor. You don't report on the injuries, you idiot. And they didn't do it 2 decades ago, and especially college football. If there was a football in college, they wouldn't talk about it. There was no injury reports 20 years back. They would take the cameras and they would not show the guy getting injured. That's what they did. But now it's, well, we got to show the player's injury and all this other stuff, which is absolute bullshit. Simple as that. Now I'm going into a little bit of a rant. I do apologize. And my last thing is this, with the whole Matt Lemming thing and his tweets and all this other stuff. And people have asked me, do you believe that this was sort of a little of a coordinated attack? I don't think so. I think it was just people expressing their opinion. Would I be surprised if it was a coordinated attack? Not really. There's been some newspaper writers in the Chicago area that have been angry and all this other stuff. And I respect the newspaper. I think the newspaper is one of the best information factoids because it allows time from when the news is printed, from when the news is made, from to the news is printed to get the facts right. And I respect those people that do it. But it's just a pain in the ass sometimes. It's just a pain in the ass to deal with some of these people. But again, I have a lot of respect for newspaper writers. Jeff Vorva, he does a hell of a job. Great guy. And that's a guy that does his fact checking and does a good job with his articles. And I have a lot of respect for him. I really do. And he's out of Orland Park, Tinley Park. He does a wonderful job. Jeff Vorva works for the Tribune Corporation. Jeff Vorva's the best. But it's like, come on. Do you really need to go after bloggers and scouts and just be angry? Well, the spread of COVID's happening, and that was the whole thing with the Lemming thing, that COVID was spreading and all this other stuff, and that it was completely unsafe net, which was not true. I talked to the parents, I talked to the kids. They were wearing masks before they took the photo shoot. They had tools of sanitation to wash their hands and everything else, and they were bitching and complaining. And what pisses me off, this is the thing that pisses me off the most, when you don't go after your friends in the scouting business that are doing the same thing and having events in May and all that other stuff, and you don't go after them. That's complete BS. That's called hypocrisy at its finest. So, come on. All right. So let's get into the games of the week. I apologize for the rant. If you feel to complain to me, again, my email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. And yes, I am an asshole. All right. So let's get with the games of the week. Like I mentioned before, Phillips versus Loyola Academy. That's a huge game. I'm really excited about that game. I'm happy that they were able to schedule a game. A lot of these games that I mentioned are probably going to be canceled. Not going to lie. It is what it is. Especially with COVID numbers rising and all this other stuff. But it is what it is. What can you do? So Phillips, Loyola, great game. Game to keep an eye out for. Byron versus Winnebago, very interesting, hard-hitting game to keep an eye out for as well. Genoa Kingston is on a rise. They're playing hell of football. They're playing great football. Geneva's playing good football. Nokemis is unbelievable. They're undefeated. keep an eye out for Nokemis. That's definitely a team to watch out for. Where are you? Nope. A little bit interested in El Dorado versus Edwards County and Black Diamond Conference. That's an interesting game for me. Again, I'm going for the schedule of IHSA.org. IHSA.org, as you know. That game's canceled, that game's canceled, and that game's canceled, and that game's canceled. That's great. And Homewood Flossmoor, they ended their season as well. A big shout to Coach Buzz for a wonderful career. He's going to be coaching in Indiana. But big shout out to him. He's coaching at Crown Point High School. Congratulations to Coach Buzz. Wonderful guy. New Trier versus Maine Self is a huge game. That's going to be a big time game in the state of Illinois, no doubt about that. New Trier could get the upset against Maine Self, but Maine Self they play IHSA football. Simple as that. Cancel. Watch out for a couple few in the Duquesne Conference. There's 2 games I know. I just don't have they don't put down the full games because of that little tournament that they're having. That game got canceled. And that game got canceled. Huntley's undefeated. Keep a little bit of a close eye out for Hampshire, too. They're playing some good football. Crystal Lake Central versus McHenry, by the way. Big shout to McHenry. They have 2 wins. Prairie Ridge versus Jacobs, another interesting game as well. Again, these games might be canceled. I do apologize. Wilmington versus Peatone is always a great game to look out for. Plano versus Sandwich is always a rivalry game to keep an eye out for as well. Richmond versus Johnsburg is another interesting game too. Woodstock North versus Marengo, that's an interesting game too. That game got canceled, and that game got canceled, and that game got canceled too. Let's see. Anything else? Any other games that didn't get canceled? Let's check it out. Hoffman Estates versus Barrington is an interesting game. Hopefully that game isn't canceled. I haven't heard anything yet about that. Nope. Harlem. Where's Harlem? I'm trying to find Harlem. Harlem's got a good game. Boylan Catholic versus Harlem is a huge game. James Cooper is on fire. Also, Willowbrook High School, Joshua Brown on fire as well. He's having a hell of a season too. Benton Glover, he's having a huge season. He's having a great season at Benton High School. Benton's unbelievable. And placeholders. That game's canceled as well. And that game's got canceled. So good times, huh? Marion versus Centrila. O'Fallon. I want to see how O'Fallon plays after the big. They had a big upset win over East St. Louis. That's an interesting game too. That game got canceled as well. That's great. Merrill Forsyth versus Williamsville is always a big game. Keep an eye out for that one. Dupo plays Nokemis. Nokemis is 4-0. Shout out to Nokemis. That's another canceled game. Just looking at great canceled games now. That game also got canceled, and that game got canceled too. Manuka versus Aurora West. Hopefully that game is not canceled. Oswego East versus Peoria. Plainfield North is always a good game to watch too, and that game got canceled as well. Shout out to Lincoln West on a big win over Hoffman Estates on Sunday. That was a good game. Edwardsville takes on O'Fallon. That's a huge game for O'Fallon. And Glenbard West versus Hinsdale Central is always a big game. That's going to be a great game, especially against Glenbard West's stifling defense against the Hinsdale Central offense. That game got canceled as well, and that game got canceled. Yeah, this is fun. And again, I don't know why this is one of you guys' favorite videos. Like, seriously, this video is like everyone's favorite. I don't know why. You guys are sick. St. Rita versus Bennett Academy is an interesting game. Hopefully that game's not canceled. That game's not canceled. Let's see what else. Sacred Heart Griffin versus Carlinville. Wow, that's I'm surprised. Oh, JV, Sacred Heart Griffin's JV. Niles Notre Dame versus Nazareth Academy on Saturday. That's always an interesting game. Can Nazareth Academy come back from that loss to Marist? That'll be interesting to see. And Lyle versus Streeter. That's another interesting game. Lyle beat Piatone. Shout out to Coach Parpet and the Lyle High School Lions. El Raby versus Lincoln Park. Hopefully that game is still going. That'd be an interesting game too. Keep an eye out for Lincoln Park High School. They lost a tough game last week, so another interesting game. Providence Catholic versus St. Lawrence. Interesting game too. Mount Zion versus Effingham. Huge game. That's probably one of the biggest games in the state right now. Mount Zion versus Effingham. So, and the game, again, more games are probably going to be canceled by today. Today's Thursday, and it is 10:25. I guarantee you, as soon as I'm out of this video, I'm going to hear information about this game got canceled. This game got canceled. So, again, you can't do much about it. Make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and D3 Football on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. My email is coachbigpete@fp@gmail.com. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.